I cannot simply remind last time I've seen him in official Blitz tournament. Okay, times to start.
Start the game.
Okay, let's follow this game. Top seed Jan Nepomniachtchi
And we have
against
Sicilian.
women world champion. Okay, bishop b5. Knight of 6 instantly. Well, this is somehow tricky move order. I think that capture on c6 and d3 is what is supposed to be the most serious answer for white. But okay, Jan has another opinion. Yeah.
Generally in Blitz they kind of avoid main lines, so we will see some main line, or?
Well, it cannot be called. Okay, starting with knight f6, because knight f6 is rather tricky move order, and looks like Jan
still plays for the same setup.
Doesn't play too much for opening advantage. Just to, I think that in general, black can be happy with the result of the opening. Okay, also, well,
D5
is a bit unusual. It's a bit unusual for this structure, because now, well, next move will be bishop takes c6, and this c5 pawn might be quite weak in such structure. Okay.
So bishop c6 is on the board, and bishop f4. Now, bishop g7 is a bit passive piece because it's closed by e5 pawn, and
yeah, somehow okay. This is quite standard. This queen d2 and bishop h6. So I would probably choose some other plan, but okay, Jan definitely knows what he does. He will switch to this c5 pawn later, and I think that it's just this weak pawn.
Probably black wants to break the e5 pawn with f6.
Yeah, that it works sometimes, but well.
Knight g7 is a bit passive, but maybe she wants to go knight f5 and threaten the bishop on h6. So
G4,
white has to do something about it. Yeah, g4 seems very interesting.
G4 asks for itself, but it weakens king side, and g4. After g4, then probably f6. Well, it's time.
And we have g4 on the board, and f6 seems to be quite interesting choice.
If not f6, then, well, I think that black is more or less running out of moves, because I think then all this construction, yeah.
Yeah. We have f6 and knight f3. Of course, ef and ef would be in black's favor. And f5, Alexandra plays a bit aggressively to break the king side.
Well, it's very interesting what she does. Yes, looks like this king side maneuvering did not bring white a lot, but still maybe I'm wrong, because okay, from the very beginning, once more I can repeat that I would probably choose some more direct play against this weak c5 pawn instead of this king.
Bishop h6 and
yes, instead of this king side activities. But you know, Jan knows what he does. Well.
Now the g4 pawn is under attack, and knight h2. It's a bit passive, but the only move to protect the g4 pawn.
Yes, but now, well, I think f4, f5 asks for itself. Yeah.
Right.
I think this c2 pawn.
It's very dangerous attack for black.
Yes, c2 pawn is nothing.
King h1 is also very safe square for white king, and after f5 we will also have g5. f5 seems to be very big threat.
Yes, and just I think it will just break all black position in two, and then it's just a matter of time. Well, she has to take on c2. Good or bad? Well, strange.
e6 against f5, I guess.
Yes, but then
protecting the c2
equal pawn, and look, this knight on d4, it looks nice, but somehow
it is out of play a bit.
It's completely out of play. I think that next move will be knight a4, and okay, remember what I told you about this c5 pawn. Well, I think
it's
that,
weak.
that Alexandra misplayed something.
Is it? And also bishop on h8, it's quite a bad piece.
But bishop on what can you say about bishop on c8?
Yeah, bishop on
Because
c8.
it's both these bishops pair in this situation, it's rather miserable.
Alexander tries to change the queens, but as you mentioned, maybe queen e7, rook e7, and knight a4.
No,
or
bishop g5. Yeah, Jan will not exchange queens. Well, now knight a4, c3.
Seems very bad for black.
Seems like this is not the game. However, when I was looking at these games which she managed to win against strong players, some of them were exactly like this.
Now h6 is the threat.
h6 is not a threat because bishop f6.
Bishop f6.
In general, white doesn't mind to exchange it black squared bishops. Okay, especially on f6 square, because then, without
Yes,
h6.
Without h6, bishop f6, and then probably our knight on h2 comes into play afterwards. g5 is very good move, freeing the g4 square for the knight.
I think ef is asking for itself because then knight comes to e5. No, he decided to go his own way. This is also possible, I think. Black is in big trouble.
In big trouble. Very dangerous position for Alexandra. White has every piece on good squares and is ready to attack, and black's pieces are not doing much. The bishop on c8 is very bad piece.
And time factor also works very much in Jan's favor. So I think that
2 seconds is not also that big time. That's
yes, it's an increment, of course, but I think that she has enough problems to solve, and not enough time to do this.
now probably taking on c4. Oh, d4 we have.
Yes, square c5 for this knight. Queen a3. She will try to do something, but I don't think she has much chances to succeed. Yeah, queen a3. Just do it, okay? Just attack something.
But knight c5 protects.
Knight c5 protects everything.
Everything, yeah.
That's a problem. That's a real problem.
Knight f3, knight g5, and probably white has a plan to attack on h file as well, because the rook is on f2 and can shift to h2, or g2 after h6.
Yeah, she.
It's very, very tough to defend.
Yeah.
Is that knight g5?
Knight g5 looks like more or less winning. Knight g5, king g8, and f7. Well, is it right time to win this exchange? No, Jan just goes.
King h1, it's just to prolong black's torture in
I
this
think
position.
Well, on the very last seconds, tries to protect something, but okay.
Rook g8, rook h8, rook g1, and still black is under big pressure. Knight c5 is on the way.
He can already take on h6, transposing to technical endgame. Okay.
Completely winning.
Completely winning. Yeah.
And this is what happens on the board. Alexandra has 7 seconds. It's really tough, and she sacrifices the knight, but after rook c1, it's easily defended. And
yes. Knight
Knight
g5, rook h7, and
it's a mate. But knight d2 also, we have just a piece.
Yeah, just a piece for nothing. Although I don't like this knight d2 very much. Okay.
The a3, rook a1, this pawn really cannot be queened. But Alexandra tries her best to create some counterplay.
Yeah, she is very resourceful in these little tactics. she fights till the end. But yeah, I think
But the
in this
position
case,
is so bad that
in this case, yeah,
nothing helps.
yeah. So
11 seconds against 44 seconds. F5, not to give any file to black, and after rook c2, rook a3, everything is defended. EF, but white has still piece for nothing, and the c8 bishop still did not develop.
yes, I think
Rook a7 just to cut to the king.
the most nice, I think, way was
Rook c3.
rook
And
h7.
rook h7.
Yes. And rook a8 is a deadly threat.
Right.
So rook a8,
Rook
game over.
a8, game over.
So Jan confirmed, not
Rook h.
not yet, but I think
But
okay.
the
Anyway.
e6 and game over.